mentioned it in Bhagavad Gita.
I think sometimes communication is very essential. If I have to connect with somebody, caste should not be the priority. I think we should come out of it. That's what I feel. I think you should be away from caste.
Under your leadership, what sort of concrete ecosystem do you want to build?
I really want Gen Z to be multidisciplinary learning. Gen Z should look at agriculture. Don't ignore agriculture.
మీరు చేసే పనిలో మంచి కనిపిస్తే చాలు, మనిషి కనిపించక్కర్లేదు అని. సో అలా ఉంటే చాలా, ఇలా ఉండాలని మీరు సజెస్ట్ చేస్తారా?
నువ్వు సినిమాలు అయితే టక్మని కొట్టేస్తావు, నీ కళ్ళ ముందు అదే షూటింగ్లో గొడవ అవుతుంది, నువ్వేం చేస్తావు చెప్పని నాకు నేను అనుకుంటా. ఐ సెడ్ ఇఫ్ ఐ వుడ్ హావ్ టేకెన్ లా అండ్ ఆర్డర్, ఐ డోంట్ నో హౌ ద సిచ్యువేషన్ వుడ్ బి. ఐఎమ్ గ్లాడ్ దట్ ఐ డిడ్ంట్ టేక్ లా అండ్ ఆర్డర్. నా కళ్ళ ముందు నేను ఎందుకు వచ్చాను పాలిటిక్స్కి అంటే, డోంట్ బిలీవ్ బ్లైండ్లీ ఇన్ పొలిటికల్ లీడర్స్. మేబీ లెట్ మీ స్టార్ట్ విత్ యూ. You come out with a proposal.
Thank you, sir.
You prepare yourself for the next generation. If the so-called political leaders, including me, if I am not doing right, you should be prepared enough to replace me.
Hi Kalyan Garu, I'm Likita.
Hi.
So my question is, today's generation, especially the youth, they're having a lot of talent, but they're lacking the direction and exposure, especially from tier 2, tier 3 cities.
Tier 2, tier 3, okay.
Yeah. So under your leadership, what sort of concrete ecosystem do you want to build so that they become job creators rather than the job searchers?
That's a challenge, no?
Yeah.
It's quite a tough question to answer. It's quite a deep question. What do you think you should do? You educate me on that.
Yeah, I'll educate you. The first thing that I feel is colleges should be very transparent in maintaining the curriculum, which is very practical rather than the theoretical thing, where students have a lot of exposure in gaining the industry skills, real exposure. That is one thing. And the second thing, from the government side, they can have some sort of innovation hubs and all in every district, so that they can encourage entrepreneurship and different innovations like AI and demanding technologies as well.
I feel we need multi-skills. That's what I look at.
Okay.
But the sad part is our education system is very, and I keep seeing last 10-15 years, I keep meeting a lot of brilliant youngsters. I met a boy of 13 or 14-year-old. He made a e-scooter. Mm-hmm. And with 30,000-40,000 he made, I think 25,000 something, less than that. And I feel a great amount of talent is there.
Yes.
And I look at a lot of outsourcing. A lot of people come to me when I go to Mangalgiri, when I go to AP. A lot of outsourcing employees come, youngsters. They're saying, it's a temporary employment, but we've been stuck here for 10-15 years. For me, an administrative point of view, I look at one way, but if I look at their age and everything, as you're talking about tier 2 and tier 3 cities, I think we have to expand the choices of skill development.
Yes.
For me, my heart feels a person should be equipped with 3 to 4 skills, not just one set of skill. The problem is our entire education is focusing only on one set of skills. If you look at cricket also, we prefer all-rounders. So I think at every level, imagine if you have one profession at all, one set of skills, suppose if that does not give you enough money, generation is not there, so what is my next alternative? I think that options are not there. I think as a government and also as a political party, as an individual, I feel I want to equip people with multiple skills. Because same person can have, he should be taught in school something about, if he's learning about combinations. I mean, innovation is really missing in our country. A lot of brain drain is happening. But how do we contribute? How do we think? I think our educational system somewhere even deep down, our entire educational system is not equipping people the way it should be. I think deeper discussions has to happen. I don't think I can answer in one way or something, because deep down, that's what I prefer. Multidisciplinary education is very essential for this kind of innovative innovation. Jobs of innovation should, if they want it to happen, I think multidisciplinary skills are needed. And if you look at the 1960s and 1970s, a lot of Even in US or especially in US, people are able to construct their own houses, and they had some do-it-yourself kit. They're able to build it on their own. I think for Indian youth, I feel we don't have dignity of labor. If you're talking about a job, that means one particular skill. But there is so much of unemployment, so much of employment. I could see it in agriculture. People are not willing to do that job.
Yes.
You don't have to you need to go put some gumboots, put some gloves, and still you can do in agriculture.
Correct.
Or else you can be an agriculturist at the same time. After 2-3 hours of work, why can't you shift into some kind of electronics course, some kind of AI? I always prefer an individual should have a multidisciplinary learning to make his life better. So the exposure will be more, and the chances of winning is more.
Right.
The more you are exposed to multidiscipline. For me, that's how I trained myself, because I was so scared. For example, when I was in Chennai, I used to go into that, the Mount Road. There used to be one electronic institute. Even I was learning about, soldering. I went into electronic course. I went into NIIT because I was exposing myself for multiple options. I think that gave me an edge in the cinema to understand. I exposed to cinema, I exposed to multiple fields. I feel that's what we should do. I think that's what I'm thinking, because I'm not into, not that every affair, a state of affairs is under me in AP, but I really, really want Gen Z to be multidisciplinary learning. Whether education institutions offer or not, we have to pursue our own, in our own way, to be a multidisciplinary learning personality. That would give us a lot of edge than others.
Cool. And if you would have an option to have a community platform like Student Tribe, which is uniting all the students into one platform, how would you utilize it in different ways?
Definitely not for political gain, which I don't like it. Like everyone, but I would like to share, sometimes an idea triggers, sometimes, not that every person knows every damn thing, not necessarily. Sometimes a simple interaction like this, I think we tend to share ideas. Why I don't know something, you say something, I say something. Suddenly one person says from that corner, maybe it might trigger an entire community or tribe who are associated with that. I think sometimes communication is very essential. Maybe we don't know what would come out of that communication, and that might trigger somebody something, and which would benefit us all. In that way, I look at it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, I just want to add a point here. Since she is talking about unemployment, due to the economic slowdown that has happened in the erstwhile YCP government in the state, currently the unemployment rate in Andhra Pradesh is almost like 8.2%, sir. It is higher than the national average. In fact, it is highest in the country now. And what I feel is like, sir, all these billion-dollar investments and all, okay, they are good, but if we want to really generate jobs in the state, MSMEs could really help, sir. Like, they are the employability in the MSMEs is like too high. And also there are a few sectors, like for example, the hospitality and tourism industry. Every rupee that we spend in that industry, it directly, it's directly proportional to the jobs it creates. So there are a few industries, sir, and thankfully the government right now, we have a decisive leadership, and we have a government that has an intent to do something in these industries. So I hope this unemployment rate would come down.
That's a big challenge, I think. Employment, I am looking at, it got better than previous. Definitely, there's no second thought about it. Service sector is one thing which really gives you tourism, which gives a lot of employment. MSMEs are a lot of possibilities are there. But for MSMEs, unless we educate the next generation with a multidisciplinary approach, I don't think they can take the advantage of MSMEs. And also, one we are ignoring is about agriculture. We are expecting some remote corner, some farmer will do. Gen Z should look at agriculture. They should. It's not about, for me, Uh, I don't know, this was two things I would like to share. Maybe don't ignore agriculture. Organic gardening for the future of the earth, that one book I have read which really inspired me, and one is One Star Revolution by Musunobu Fukuoka. When I read this book called Organic Gardening for the Future of the Earth, that was quite, I don't know, 15 years back, I think, 15, much more than that, 18 years back. Around 2001, I think I read that book. In that book, he says 1,000 square yards land. If you really do a proper, with multi-cropping thing, this is done in, I think, Princeton, hopefully, if I'm right, it is in Princeton University model. When they had done it, it is able to give sustainable living for family of 4. So today, when I actually go into the field, there is a lot of shortage of creative labor. I used to be, when I was growing up, when 17 or 18, I want to look for a job. Sometimes even I'm highly, imagine, okay, I learn multiple languages or something, everything, but I want to do something more closer to nature. I think one aspect is like kibbutz. In Israel, they do collective farming. In MSMEs, I feel, why can't we do MSMEs in the way of, if you take a 10-acre piece of land is there, if a lot of around 20, 30 individuals do come together, while doing the agriculture, how could they make it a value addition to it, to their produce? I think in that way, I think we should explore a lot of ideas, because I have my own limitations in exploring this, but I have to sit with experts, I have to sit with someone who's passionate about it. I think we can explore. I think maybe this triggered me, the question she asked me triggered me. Maybe when I go back after a few months from now, maybe I'll speak to a lot of youngsters, in which way they can contribute and what they're looking at. And unless I don't know the set of skills, I don't know how to design it. Or they need their aspirations. If they tell me, okay, my aspiration is to learn something, maybe we can design some courses. I think that's what I'll explore in future.
Sir, when you talk about agriculture as a career, the entire world has seen when the Ukrainian and Russian conflict broke out. When the conflict in Ukraine and Russia broke out, the entire world has seen the wheat shortages. So I think the current generation it will realize what how important agriculture is. So thank you so much, sir. We need skill development in that as well. Next question, please.
Yeah, good evening, Kalyan Garu. Can you hear me? My question is, how do you define caste? Is it based on birth, or is it based on the duties one carries out? And is the society applying caste the way God Krishna envisioned it in Bhagavad Gita?
Caste is a tough subject. We have to be born into something. No? We don't have a choice. How we look, what height and what color, what ethnic background we are born, we don't have a choice. By the time we open our eyes from our mother's womb, we're already born into something. But how to behave is gradually we get a choice. For me, it is whether we come from the feet of somebody, we come from the head of somebody. That's all. That's another discussion altogether. My approach is, will all those discussions, are they giving me a solution to it, or is it making my life more harder?
What is the solution, if there is any?
No, the topic should be, okay, if you want to understand caste, don't just decide it for the entire ecosystem or entire India. Think about the entire globe. You name it as caste or you name it something else, there are tribes, or occupational tribes rather, we can say. And as time progresses, things are bound to happen, things are bound to change. We have to evolve. I personally feel caste is an identity which we don't have a choice. But how to come out of it, or to what extent we have to negotiate and move ahead, it's purely our choice. I feel caste should not. I think our constitution has given enough chances for everybody. It gives chances for everybody. We have to come. Constantly, caste should not become a way to pick up a fight, to divide the nation. I think we should come out of it. That's what I feel. And second part is, there is so much to say about caste. I'm thinking whether to say it or not. I don't know whether it's the right time. But one time in future, somehow I'll say sometime in future. Caste has become a very touchy topic. And suddenly people will become an entirely different mindset altogether, including between friends. And ethnicity or region or religion or caste, they become very sensitive topics. And suddenly, any caste which is dividing you as a human, I mean, which is making your humanity is killing because of being eroded because of caste, I think you should be away from caste. I personally feel, I understand caste, but if it corrodes me, if it depletes me within, I want to be away from any caste system. As long as caste, if it is making, I think there are enough examples out there. We can come out of caste. Maybe sometimes not that entirety of humanity evolves at the same time. I think individuals should emerge out strong. I think they should become role models. Caste should be a very minute part of your life, not the entirety of your